Maurice is such an underrated film. I absolutely adore it. And I have to say, the only reason that I watched this initially is because Helena Bonham Carter is in it for about a minute. She plays she's an extra at a cricket match. And I say she's an extra. She's, she was very notable in her own right here. I believe she might have just been, she'd done a lot of other work with James Ivory, so she was in it for a minute. And I'm glad she was, because it introduced me to this film, and I think it is beautiful. It is based on the novel by Forster, of course, and I'm a big fan of Forster's writing style. I haven't read the novel yet, so I can't say how it compares, but I definitely will read the novel. If I end up watching a film before reading the novel, I prefer to do it the other way on, but I'd like to read the novel a good length of time after seeing the film, so I don't have the film clouding my opinion of the book. I think enough time has passed. I will read it soon. If you've read it, do let me know if there are any major differences, but please no spoilers. And there won't be any spoilers in this review either. So the film itself was released in 1987, and it stars Rupert Graves, Hugh Grant, James Wilby, and for about a minute, Helena Bonham Carter. And I will read the description from IMDb, which I think gives a pretty decent overview of what it's about without spoiling anything. And this says, after his lover rejects him, a young man trapped by the oppressiveness of Edwardian society tries to come to terms with and accept his sexuality. So it's about gay love between two men in the Edwardian restrictions. And it's everything you would expect from a Forster story directed by James Ivory. It tells the tale beautifully. As I said, can't compare it to the novel. I fully expect Forster would tell this tale exquisitely as well. But the film really carries this narrative from start to finish. It's quite long, over 2 hours, but I never really felt like it dipped. Now, I have to say, this is my kind of film. Even if HBC hadn't been in it, if this came on my radar, I would have jumped at the chance. It's kind of like, if you like Brideshead Revisited, it's kind of a more tame version of that. Maybe if you've seen Call Me By Your Name, I think maybe it's a less contemporary tone to it, but still kind of similar in terms of the characters' outlooks, the struggles they face. And I do think that Hugh Grant as Clive Durham in this, just absolutely love him. Rupert Graves is fantastic. James Wilby as Maurice Hall, just perfect casting. I probably will picture them when I read the novel, so I'll have to see how the descriptions compare. But just based on the characters here, the way they were developed, the way they spoke, their mannerisms, the way they interacted with one another, perfect chemistry. I'm really pleased with the casting. I think it works exceptionally well. The narrative is beautiful from start to finish. The costumes are, they're ridiculous. They're so stunning. They're absolutely beautiful. And I can confirm that the costumes were done by Jenny Bevan, John Bright, and William Pierce as a co-costume designer. Really stunning. This is not the most widely released film. The DVD is very cheaply made. It's one of those red and white ones. You will know what I mean if you've seen it. But it was nominated for an Oscar. So I'm not sure why it's not kind of... it was nominated for Best Costume Design. There's a surprise. I don't think it's one of the most well-known films. Certainly it's not one of James Ivory's most well-known films. Or one of the most well-known Forster adaptations. Maybe that's because it's not a good adaptation. I don't know. But I feel like that wouldn't be the case. Because I don't know any Ivory film that I've not enjoyed. Also, just a tip. After just looking at the IMDb page, and it says at the side... available on Amazon, buy on DVD for £96. And you click on that link and it takes you through to the Region 1 import on amazon.co.uk. Ignore that. Please ignore that. You can get the DVD for not a lot of money. It's just not as widely available. It's also on Prime for $3.49. Definitely recommended. If you love Edwardian films, Forster stories, things like Evelyn Waugh, or James Ivory films in general, I think this is quintessential James Ivory. You will thoroughly enjoy this. It is beautiful. It's a very, very well told story. I have only just realised that James Ivory also directed Call Me By Your Name, so that is a pretty good comparison. It's beautiful. It's a gorgeous film. I wish more people knew about it. I'm so glad HBC was in it for a nanosecond because it introduced me to this. Probably would have seen it at some point once I'd read the Forster book. I think I probably would have read the book before now had I not seen this. So maybe I should have done it that way. I don't know. But either way, I'm really glad that I've seen the film. If you like this kind of thing, give it a watch. I really do not think you'll be disappointed.